Kia ora and welcome to another episode of Rural New Zealand. I'm your host Scotty Bamford. Join me as we check out what's happening throughout the South Island. On this week's episode, we meet a local Canterbury company that has been created with Fertiliser. We're down to Marama as we meet the 2015 South Island Farm of the Year. But first we're off to Timaru where we catch up with the guys who entered in the grand final of the Young Farmer of the Year competition.
It was a cold winter's morning in Timaru. All the practical sections for the Young Farmer of the Year were set up. All 7 contestants battled away to finish their farmlets on time. Not only is the grand final just about the 7 contestants, but there's also a young farmers fencing competition going on, in which only the straightest and tightest of wires would win. The old saying goes, teach them young. Kids from all over Aotearoa took on multiple challenges in both the Agri Kids and Teen Ag competition. There was a whole range of different activities to test the kids out fully. Copeland, the CEO of Young Farmers, was happy with how the contest was going.
We had our technical day yesterday out at Raincliffe Station, which is an amazing deer station. The guys really put through their paces up there, and then Timaru itself, the parade yesterday was outstanding. All these kids joining the parade, and then today down here in Caroline Bay, I think it's going to be pretty tight between the competitors. So yeah, looking forward to a good battle.
Is it quite good to see that heaps of young people from the schools and that coming through the ranks?
Yeah, and that's part of our plan too, to put the Agri Kids, which is our primary school age group, and Teen Ag, high school age group, their grand finals alongside, so they can actually see what to aspire to. Is really cool.
Do you have any favourites that you hope to win the grand final?
No, actually, they're a great bunch of guys, and they've all got their own personal strengths in certain areas. I can't even predict it. We've got a sweepstake in the office. I'll probably come last, but yeah, it's really open.
Last year's winner, Matt Bell, was happy not to be involved with the competition this year.
How does it feel being on this side of the fence than that side?
It's a far more relaxing side of the fence to be on. You look at those boys, they're all stressed out and flat out. It's a huge change though. This is probably the day I missed the most. I didn't miss that technical day at all yesterday. That looked quite stressful. But today the practical day is always fun. And for a lot of these guys, they're farmers, so this is what they look forward to the most, getting stuck in. And, yeah.
How's it been for the last 12 months being the grand champion?
It's pretty awesome, eh? Like I've said numerous times, it's a dream come true to win it. And then, yeah, there's all sorts of different things that you get to do with it, but it's amazing the people you meet. Like I had to meet Scotty Bamford from Canterbury TV. It's a pretty big guy to meet. No, meeting a lot of people from MPI. We did an MPI video that's just come out and things like that. And just it gives you a profile and a platform to talk about. Like I love talking about farming. I talk about it all day. So having some sort of ability and profile to do that is really cool. So no, I've loved every second of it. But also looking forward to passing the torch on to the next guy and he can take it to new heights and get stuck in.
But then I decided it was time to see how the contestants were really feeling and how the competition was going for them.
How's the comp going today?
Not too bad. I was expecting it to be a bit colder here. But no, we're going alright.
You tracking alright for finishing on time?
Oh, but these things aren't designed to be finished, eh?
Yeah.
It's all about going flat out and hope that it works out.
And you got a good team over there?
Yeah, they found something inappropriate to say out loud, so it's alright.
Yeah, that's right. What's with their onesies?
Onesies are in, mate.
Are they? Oh,
you're missing out not having one.
Didn't get the memo.
Sorry.
That's
next time.
This is your man out here?
It is Pete Fitzherbert.
Where's he from?
He's from the Martin Young Farmers Club, so Taranaki Manawa too. Woo!
And you guys all dressed up warm with your onesies?
Yeah, we do. We've got a bit of a theme going on. So you've got a dress and a onesie that represents the first letter of your first name. So I'm Chelsea, and this is a Cookie Monster.
Oh, nailed it.
So you can imagine you go around.
Well, there's plenty of yous here, so
yeah, absolutely.
You're going to have a good weekend?
Oh, you know it.
Really enjoying it so far. The committee have done a good job in setting up. Just making it really enjoyable.
And the weather conditions aren't too cold, obviously coming from the south?
It's been, we've had a brilliant autumn this year so far, but
the conditions up here today are brilliant.
So James, representing Tasman, how's the competition going so far, bro?
Difficult, Scotty. Yeah, it's they've given us a lot to get through.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time. The only good thing is it makes it go really fast.
Are you tracking pretty well to finish everything?
I don't know. I'd be very surprised if I could, but we'll just see how we go.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's stressing like hell at the moment.
And this is your second
Because I know second go at it.
How does this one compare to last year?
A little bit less traumatic, but still tough because they try to trip you up with so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the second goes a little bit easier in some ways, but then again not, because there's a bit more pressure on because it's last chance.
Well, all the best, and you're representing Hurunui, the best club in probably Aotearoa, New Zealand.
No doubt about that.
So all the best, mate, and
Good,
see you at the end.
Good to see you, mate. Thank you.
So Tony, how's the competition going for you?
Good. Good. Getting bloody naked.
Yeah. You still got plenty in the reserves though?
Depends if the other contestants are going to see it. Hell yeah.
No.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What's been the most challenging thing so far?
Everything's just full on. Absolutely full on. The technical detail and stuff you need to know is just... Whew.
So, is it anything what you expected?
Yep. Yep, probably a little bit harder. It's good though, it's good.
The MC had the best seat in the house.
So you've been overseeing emceeing the whole day. How's things looking from your angle?
Yeah, really good. We've got a really good lineup of competitors. Some of them are probably more based on the intellect side of things than the practical. They had a big challenge yesterday, with the technical side of things. So it's a contest of two halves really, and now of course being the practical all day. Some of them I can pick up a few mistakes in their fencing, but I'm not one of the judges. The judges will judge it, and we'll award some prizes tomorrow night and find out who the winner is. None of us know who's in the lead at the moment. I got an idea that one or two of them have done well yesterday, and last night they had the speeches and also the quiz night, and one or two of them were outstanding in there, but maybe not doing quite so good in the practical. So yeah, like I say, it's a game of two halves, and it'll be quite interesting to see who comes out on top.
Timaru's putting on the weather now.
Now, yeah, you guys left it a bit cold this morning, but no, look, it's been great, and yeah, we were lucky. I think the forecast when I looked on Monday was to bring plenty of wet weather gear, but looks great today. It's just starting to warm up. There's a good crowd down here at Caroline Bay, and from up on top of the piazza, we had a parade yesterday, and I looked down and could see all the tents up and that, and I knew we were in for a good venue. I didn't expect we'd get such a good crowd, so it's nice. It's good to see people supporting agriculture.
Leo was lucky enough to win the Young Farmers competition 29 years ago. Things must have changed quite a bit since back in the day.
How do things compare from now till then?
There's a way more involved. There's a lot more facets to the competition than there was in my time. But I guess it reflects the what's expected of young farmers these days. They've got to have far better technical knowledge and theoretical knowledge behind what they do.
Have you been watching the grand final itself?
Yeah, no, I've been at the practical day all day today, and been quite impressed with what they've had to do. And this farmlet exercise, which I've got to my left here, is quite something. For them to organise themselves to finish all that in a day is no mean feat.
With the practical day all done and dusted, it was off to Saturday night to see who was going to be the grand champion.
The winner of the 2016 FMG Young Farmer of the Year, he represents Aorangi.
Congratulations, Ethel. All the best, mate. Well done. Now, after the break, stay tuned because we're talking fertiliser. Welcome back to rural New Zealand. Now, with winter in full swing, it's time to think about some of your grazing options.
We're in South Canterbury, just about 10 k's west of Waimiri Township. We predominantly run a sheep and beef operation, but we graze 150 dairy heifers for a local dairy farmer. and they arrive in December, and we take them through to the start of their second winter. And so we graze them over winter on fodder beet. Been using fodder beet for a couple of years now because it just gives me a little bit more feed in the shoulders of the season, and it's very easy to feed off and they get good utilisation. For the winter we started growing Goliath rape for grazing our sheep from scanning through to, or just prior to lambing. That's to try and sort of keep them off the lambing paddocks and get some better covers going into lambing.
And how do you deal with sort of runoff from the paddocks?
It's different with every paddock. It really depends on the paddock, but this particular paddock I try and split it into blocks and graze it in blocks so they don't have the run of the whole paddock for the whole winter. So as they graze a section out, that section will get fenced off and they move into the next section. This paddock's got a kind of a natural gully with a intermittent stream that runs right around the edge of the paddock, so we fenced all that off before we put this lot of winter feed in. And so there's quite a good area there that should sort of act as a buffer. There's 4 ponds in that little gully as well. Should act as a good sediment trap and nutrient buffer if we do get big rain events and get some nutrient or sediment runoff. The forecast is for some really heavy rain. I will consider actually taking the cattle off the paddock. We do have at the top of this paddock where that old concrete super bin is, there's actually an old limeworks up there. So it's a big flat area of limestone, and so if there's going to be some really heavy rain, I can take the cattle out and put them up there for a day and feed them supplements up on there. And there's actually quite a bit of grass up there too because it's been shut up all summer specifically for that sort of situation. We've only got one permanent stream on this farm, the rest are intermittent. But as we do a pasture renewal program in an area, we'll fence off those little creek beds and little gullies as we go. All the paddocks now have reticulated water that are fed out of spring systems, and then the hills are predominantly run on dams. We do a lot of soil testing actually. Most paddocks on the farm every second year, or the fodder beet paddocks get a 15 centimetre core sample as opposed to a 7.5. Yeah, the fertiliser rep will do detailed fertiliser recommendations based on all those soil samples. As far as environment generally, I think there's been a huge increase in awareness. 20 years ago it was quite a different attitude. The change has been quite significant. We're doing things quite actively now to try and protect the environment. We've retired about 30 hectares of this farm into QE2 covenants, done a farm environment plan which has helped us identify what areas need more work and get more of a focus on how we manage our nutrients generally. And so I think a lot of this stuff is actually quite mutually beneficial, like it benefits the environment but it also benefits the sustainability and hopefully profitability of the business in the long run.
Once again, Rural New Zealand is proud to be a part of the South Island Farm of the Year. We even managed to catch up with one of last year's winners.
We farm here, Annabelle and my wife, with our 2 kids, Emma and Henry, and the station is 12,000 hectares. There's about 4,000 hectares on the flat and 8,000 on the hill behind us. We go from about 450 metres here up to 1,500 metres on the top of the hill. And it goes from pretty intensive irrigated, there's 560 hectares of centre pivots, through to just under 2,000 hectares in one block, which is the summer country. So we go from being a pretty intense farm to being a pretty extensive farm and everything in between. We've got about 19,000 merino sheep and 1,000 beef cattle. So we fatten and kill all our progeny from both the sheep and the cattle and try to target long-term contracts. So we've been working with the likes of Icebreaker and a Japanese restaurant chain for our beef for nearly 20 years now for all those.
Wow, that's impressive. And last year you entered the South Island Farm of the Year competition.
Yep. We believe strongly that we need to highlight what we do as an industry, and that it's not good enough just to sort of justify it to ourselves. There's lots of people who feel they have an interest in what we do with the country, and that's fair enough. So we've talked to a few people who felt it was important that we get out there and tell our stories and be proud of what we do, and open the place up so that people can come and have a look, which is what happened in the end. But yeah, we do strongly believe that it's not just good enough to live in our sort of grass castles and to expect everybody else not to care about what we do. We're very proud of what we do, and we don't have to justify it, but we're happy to show people so that they can understand as well.
And in the competition, do you feel like you sort of got anything out of it?
Yeah, we've got a really good team of people here. Everybody was involved in it. The judging process is good because it puts you under pressure and you have to justify what you do and explain what you do. The whole team went up to the awards ceremony, which was good because it would have been disappointing if we'd have lost, I guess. But the field day was fairly massive to us. There was 260 odd people, and it seemed to be quite cramped in the woolshed doing the sort of talky bits, but hopefully people got something out of it.
And you know, people out there who may be interested in entering, what do you say to them?
It's a positive thing to do for yourself internally, but we've got a responsibility externally as well, and so with those two things crossed over nicely. And yeah, I'd encourage anybody, and don't be afraid. I think the more people that showcase what they do, and the more we have people from, I guess, probably town as much as anything, having a look at what we're doing, the better it'll be for everybody, because people will understand each other's issues a bit more.
And looking forward to the farm, what's sort of the future hold for the station?
Our main motivation is to try and future-proof and to look for the issues that are going to trip the kids up, if you like, and make provision for that now so they don't. It's a multi-generational place. Our kids will be fourth generation, and so we're really serious about doing stuff now that will guarantee the sustainability of what we're going to do generations to come.
Hopefully this year we have some amazing entries like Richard and the team. All right, after the break, stay tuned because we're talking organic fertiliser. Welcome back to rural New Zealand. Now, there isn't too many companies around New Zealand that are turning a waste product into a fertiliser, but Poulfert are doing just that. Like many good stories in life, planets aligned and the rest is history.
We were looking for a property that was close enough to Christchurch to buy in a lifestyle sort of a scenario, and come across this particular place, and so I approached the owner of it with regards to his intentions as to selling or otherwise, and didn't in fact know that there was a business associated with it. But anyway, about 18 months later we ended up with a property that was handy for what we were doing and the business. So.
And the fertiliser itself, how do you get that off the farmers?
We are the preferred operators so far as cleaning out the broiler chicken sheds throughout Canterbury for both Tegel and Brinks growers. And so on a scheduled basis we visit all the chicken farms throughout Canterbury, all strategically dotted around Canterbury, and clean out the sheds as and when the birds are killed out of them on about a 6-week basis. So every 6 weeks or thereabouts we're back to where we started again.
And what is the product made of, and what sort of trace elements?
Well, the product is chicken manure, and it comes on the sheds are filled with a bedding of timber shavings, and the birds have grown on that product on the bedding for up to 40 days, and then we scrape it out. So the product is sourced on timber shavings, and it's basically NPK. So the trace elements are about 3, 1 and 1.2, and it's but we use it per tonne. So with every kilo of nutrient value that's ordered, they get tonnes of organic matter. And price-wise, ring us, find out, make comparisons, I'm sure as with the current customers we have, you'll find and see that we're pretty on the ball with regards to being able to service your particular needs. We make arrangements for delivery. We're working out how much they want, where they want it, what they want to use it for. We use it for predominantly pasture, but also for a lot of cropping. Do a lot of winter barley, do a lot of fodder beet, kale, but predominantly grass. And so they contact us, tell us, work out how much they need for their given purpose, and we'll deliver it and spread it as and when required. We come as a one-stop shop, so we can deliver it, and generally speaking we bulk load it to site, tip it off, and then reload it again with our gear for our specialist spreading gear, and so the customers don't need to supply anything, it all comes with the job.
But the product just isn't made up of fertiliser, it also contains a lot of organic matter too.
It's organic matter. We talk about fertiliser being kilos per hectare, and so we do talk about kilos per hectare, but we supply the product in tonnes of organic matter per hectare. And so we spread, generally speaking, starting about 2.5 tonne to the hectare upwards, depending on what the given purpose of the spreading's for. And so for every hectare that you get, you're getting tonnes of the organic matter. Yeah.
And in the trucks itself, you have some pretty high-tech technology.
Our trucks are all GPS tracked, so we know where they're coming and where they're going, where the product is coming from, where it's going to. There's proof of placement in the spreader trucks. We use Topcom gear through precision tracking, and it's all readily available for anybody to have, look at, or keep for their own records.
And you're basically covering the whole Canterbury region?
All Canterbury region. We cover anywhere up through from Oxford down out to Rakaia, and then back up around anywhere through the lakes and general Canterbury. Within probably about 150 k's of Christchurch. The main growing process of the chicken growing is in and around the Canterbury area, and that's where we service.
Well, thanks for watching the show, guys. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Just remember to like us on Facebook, and if you have missed an episode, you can watch it on demand. It's a big hot rah for me and Auraki over there, so we'll see you guys next time when we go on another amazing adventure. See you then.